see, the problem is this is part of why I'm running for governor, is a lot of these laws are on the state books. And for instance, even if I won the presidency, for instance, this last time, my goal was to free most people in jail. But you don't get to pardon most people in jail. You only get to pardon those who are in for federal crimes if you're the president. And about 2/3 of people in jail are in jail or prison for state crimes, not federal crimes. So to be pardoned for a state crime, you have to be pardoned by the governor. So in other words, so all these years I've been planning on, the general plan has been to start something called the Love Party, was my general idea. And I'm not opposing that. I'm still going to be doing it, but I also still might run on another party's ticket too. But the Love Party, the idea was that we would take over every state, legislature, every state governorship, so we can, that's the most important, so we can free people, or the legislature so we can change the laws, or both, ideally. And then also pack the federal, Congress. And my general plan is, I believe that I, along with our nation's founders, believe that victimless and consensual crimes, meaning they're not legally crimes. Victimless and consensual activity are not legally crimes. They call them victimless crimes. These are crimes that either, if there's a victim, it's because, like, somebody say that I decided to buy cocaine from somebody else, which I do think should be illegal, and I don't think is usually healthy or even necessarily safe. But a lot of what makes it unsafe, of course, is that it's illegal, because you don't know what you're getting. And the other thing that makes it unsafe is that it's illegal, so you don't know who you're dealing with. And you might even be robbed as you're trying to buy something. Yeah, God forbid. My God, I mean, yes. So I do believe that the main cause of crime in our country and world is that they've made all these drugs illegal. And that raises the prices, and then people want to go and they might get addicted, or a habit, or whatever you call it. The next thing you know, they're robbing to try
bags of things.
I'm just saying that they're out robbing and killing, and then there's turf wars. Now, wow, that's cool. So I immediately figured out when I was in high school even that this war on drugs was just a war on people, and all it was going to do was increase crime, lock up millions and millions of innocent people, destroy the lives of untold numbers of innocent people who have never hurt somebody, and that also would take law enforcement away from being able to do things like protect us, which is what we need them there for. So it both increases the causes of crime and takes the police away from being able to protect us simultaneously. And it wastes all the money that the government has on building jails and enslaving us and torturing us instead of helping us. Meaning, I knew that we were making everything that people like doing, sex and drugs, boy, like you couldn't pick two things that people like doing more. I knew that we're picking sex and drugs and we're making them illegal, and that would make all of us technically criminals. Oh my God, my friend Paul is calling. 1 second, let me get this, okay? Can you hit pause? Okay. Hey, Paul. Hello. Hi. I'm being interviewed for a YouTube by a good friend of mine, right? Can I call you in like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is? You don't mind? Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, so we're back. So I figured out that the combination of, when you make enough things illegal, you end up making, and drinking and driving too, because I'm very opposed to that. Trust me, although I was busted twice 20 years ago for drinking and driving, but both of those convictions were, it turns out, well, they were certainly expunged, but because in California, you can get things expunged if you haven't broken the law after a year. But my point is, the way to solve drinking and driving is you just put breathalyzers in every car. I mean, there's ways to, I mean, the current law, all it's doing is locking up millions of innocent people, but it's also not even probably arresting 1% of the people who drink and drive every year. Oh yeah, the way that I figured out that my arrests were illegal was because only about a year ago, the New York Times did a big study on the two major makers of breathalyzer machines. They're both out of Germany, and their algorithms were both so indecipherable, but what they did figure out at least was that both major breathalyzer companies boost your reported blood alcohol level by 10 to 40%. And my both times was on the line, meaning
governor campaign.
Yes. So I am very against all of these arrests for victimless and consensual crimes. And just like our country's founders, I believe they are unconstitutional. As Thomas Jefferson said in his only book that he wrote, which I hear is a little racist, but I've only picked it up and read a few pages here and there. I didn't get to the racist part. I did get to the part where he was talking about the native plants of different parts of Virginia. And one of the ones he mentions is hemp. So I have strong reason to believe that he was growing hemp. And I've even read that he was buying the female plants, which is what you need to, has the THC and to get a buzz. Anyway, my point is Thomas Jefferson's quote in that book, something on the state of Virginia, whatever, notes on the state of Virginia. He says, the legitimate powers of government extend to such acts only as are injurious to others. Meaning, and then he says, he was discussing the issue of should we have a state-run religion, or should we all? Should we only let, or should we only?
I'm your God. I'm the prophet, man. Follow me.
Okay.
That's the state religion.
Okay. Yes. The
United States of Rod.
Right. Rod. Well, our hashtag Rod is God. I love it. So he was trying to say that the U.S. should not only be a Christian nation, but that we want to admit and have citizens from every religion and every walk of life and every part of the world, and nobody gets, if you're not hurting somebody or hurting or robbing somebody, then he said, then that was his next sentence, was something about robbing or hurting somebody, then the state has no business being involved. Now, that was the belief of all of our nation's founding mothers and fathers, because otherwise they would have written into law all of these victimless and consensual crimes. But instead, they wrote in their autobiographies or in their books about doing them. Jefferson wrote about hemp, as I discussed. Ben Franklin, in his autobiography, wrote about when in his younger days, he didn't say it exactly, but he heavily implied that he was sleeping with sex workers and was very happy he hadn't caught any diseases, like whatever, COVID or syphilis or whatever. Anyway, so by the way, I had COVID over a year ago, and I had and I've only been immune now for a few hours. I got my vaccine. I mean, I've been actually immune about a year, but I got my vaccine now 2 weeks ago. I got the Johnson & Johnson, and I'm still standing. So thank God. I'm very happy they resumed the Johnson & Johnson shots. So yeah, the whole idea is I'm angry that they shut down this whole, that all these governors and all these presidents and all these dictators around the world shut down the world because of a disease. I find it a huge infringement on our personal liberties and on our not only our right to work, but on our rights as human beings to interact and to with other human beings, to not have to interact with each other through a screen. Now, as far as masks go, I have always believed that the government should have, immediately, well, we should have been even years ahead. We should have been predicting this, certainly. I mean, I read a National Geographic article many years ago saying that it was predicted that we would, we had this disease, that disease, swine flu, avian flu, whatever. And it was predicted that one of these days, Ebola, and that one of these days soon we would have a aerosol transmitted strong disease. But I mean, it was always bound to happen, because these have been happening in greater and greater frequency, these pandemics, epidemics, because of eating meat, because of global warming and eating meat. If you've seen the movie Cowspiracy, have you seen Cowspiracy?
I have, but can COVID get you high?
The vaccine got me high. I mean, I was woozy. I was a little sick for a few hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, and then went to bed and got up 5 hours later, went to bed at 3:30 in the morning, woke up at 8:30 and feeling fine, just like when I had COVID. I had only had the fever for a few hours, like maybe I had 102 for about an hour, and the fever and the headache were building all the last day, and then went to bed and prayed a lot, and I promised God I would never smoke anything ever again.
Whose God do you pray to?
I think we all have the same God. I mean, I think there's just one God.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Boy.
What do you think about the Tekashi 6ix9ine controversy?
I'm not biting any heads off of rats here.
Right,
although
but what do you think about?
Maybe I should, if that'll help me get elected. I'll do whatever it takes to save lives. I want to free most people in jail. I want to end victimless crimes.
All right, wait. So you're talking about people in jail. So what do you think about the Tekashi 6ix9ine controversy?
I've heard the name, but I don't know. Is he accused of murder or something like that? A rapper murder?
He's a rapper. Danny Hernandez kind of blew up a couple years ago, and what ended up happening with him? There's a bunch of other folks in his videos where they're pulling out guns and shit like that. Anyhow, the FBI and the other three-letter agencies kind of it seems like they flipped him as an informant. They got warrants to put video cameras in his cars and all that. And ultimately what ended up happening is he became the world's biggest snitch, and he snitched on over a dozen of his friends, and they're all doing 10 plus years. Well, I think maybe 4+ years, but many of them are 10 plus.
Oh my God.
And
look, okay, I did not know that. I will repeat, though, my general thesis, which is that the main cause of most crime is these attempted drug prohibition, and even regulation.
Yeah.
Because I totally disagree with by the way, I disagree with the California model, which is now being copied throughout the country, which is to allow dispensaries, and you have to be licensed to sell it.
And you are running for governor of California, correct?
Yes.
I think we should mention that at least once a minute. You should, people need to know what this interview is about, Fred. But go on.
You're right.
So you're running for governor of California.
Yes,
and drug dispensaries. And how do you feel about Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Well, I think that most people are arrested for victimless crimes, and he probably busted his friends or helped get his friends busted for victimless crimes. So I find that outrageous.
What now, outrageous that he's a snitch, you mean?
Outrageous that people are arrested for these things at all. And if somebody helps them get arrested for victimless crimes, I find that horrible.
Yeah,
And
interesting
what?
point. That's an interesting point.
Yeah. I mean, you know, just like Joe Biden, he goes around talking about racial justice and we need racial justice. Well, who do you
But
think was his number one quote? Do you know his quote in the New York Times?
he doesn't want to grow his children to grow up in a racial jungle. Also, there's the whole thing about not, working with segregationists. The dude wrote the Patriot Act. I mean, Joe Biden is not the sort of person that I want to put up as a bastion of hope, a pillar of humanity.
I'm
This
shocked
man,
that he talks about racial justice every day when he is the main cause of racial injustice in our country, because he supported locking us up for victimless crimes. And obviously people who are poorer and darker are going to be attacked more by the police. And you can't tell me, I'm sorry, this whole fuck the police and all of that, look, I mean, yes, the police have a responsibility not to enforce unconstitutional laws. It's called police discretion. We studied this in law school. It's the police corollary of
what law school?
It's the police corollary of jury nullification, which is a right to vote not guilty whenever the fuck you want. And it also applies in civil cases. I went to Georgetown Law School. Before that, I went to Columbia College in the city of New York.
I'm listening.
Like Obama. And although a few years after, I guess, yes.
I'm listening.
We probably
I can hear you. Keep going.
We probably had a few. I would almost bet you that we had a few of the same professors.
I gotta get my bag. Hold on.
That's what she said. Sorry. I love saying that's what she said when it means nothing. Like when it literally means nothing, just because that makes it funnier to me.
Anyhow.
Okay. Yes, at Columbia, I studied history with Eric Foner, who I loved, who's like the preeminent historian in the world. If you've watched recently, he did a special on Lincoln. And then Shenton, who I loved, who established the museum of the Tenement Museum in New York, and just incredible professors. And we learned about Robert Moses. Anyway, and I also took this. I had incredible professors. I forgot one professor's name who I loved so much, where we studied these various concepts that had emerged of how much to regulate and what kind of regulation and that kind of thing. And there were around 1900, there were a lot of various competing concepts of how to, or whether to, and how to, and how much regulation to have of all things. But for instance, drugs, the original concept was, we read John Dewey, and we read Looking Backwards by Bellamy, which was the best-selling book in China besides the Red Book for many, 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 probably decades. It's all about a controlled economy, the benefits of a controlled economy, which they took to heart and are using to wipe the floor with us right now, along with slave labor. Oh, by the way, that's an issue as far as China goes. We have and other countries, we have something on our books. I mean, literally, all we have to do to handle slave labor that's being used in any country is simply enforce our law, which says that we're not allowed to, no goods created by slave labor are allowed to be sold in the US. So that's very simple to enforce. You just decide what you decide what a slave labor wage is in the country, or if it's at gunpoint, then that settles that. And
wait, so you're running for mayor of California, right?
I want to have guaranteed jobs. I want to have guaranteed basic income, at least for those below a certain net worth or income. But if we can afford it for everyone, great. But if not, I do think it would be not a bad idea to target it somewhat. But like, say you have a net worth of under $500,000, you get $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
But
I've been very angry they locked down everything. From the minute they did that, I shouldn't say that.
Hold on.
For about 24
But
hours, I admit I supported the
Fred,
lockdown. Under 24 hours. Before that, I was upset and against it, and after that, I was upset. Okay.
you're gonna wake up my wife, Fred.
Mazel tov. I'm so happy you're married. Oh, I'm kvelling. She's a beautiful, wonderful, fierce woman. I love watching her, steal the Trump flag from those people. Although I know stealing is illegal, I consider him like, a Nazi. I'm actually a little surprised we all lived through the last 4 years. Those of us who lived. I'm surprised most of the world survived the last 4 years. I really thought he would end up accidentally killing most of us. I'm kind of shocked to still be alive right now. I shouldn't say that. I guess I was sometimes I feel it was 50, I thought it was 50-50.
But Fred, here's the point. You're running for governor of California. And the reason that you called, you had some kind of issue as to what party you should run on.
Yeah, it's really difficult because I have a lot of Democrats would love me for certain things like guaranteeing jobs for all and housing for all and adequate food for all. By the way, food for all. I'll get to the other what makes me more libertarian and what makes me what the Republicans would like, which is I'm against. I don't agree that there's such a concept as race because there isn't. All scientists, all DNA, the human genome people like Robert Venter, who lives and works a few miles from here. He's the one who sequenced the human genome. I could explain how he did it quickly, but that's irrelevant.
When you say here, where is that? Are you talking about human pig hybrids, or this is alien DNA? This is Neanderthal breeding with winged serpents? Like, what level of DNA splicing are we talking about here?
No, I didn't say splicing. I said he mapped. He mapped. Now he is.
Is this the guy that said that it's like flying a 747 through a pile of COVID? Is this the guy we're talking about?
I did not hear that quote, so I don't know. What he did, I can tell you how he did it. He did something like taking a human piece of DNA, put it into some kind of chemical or something blender, broke it into such tiny pieces that a computer could analyze each tiny piece and then analyze each of them and then brought in such computer power to figure out where each piece would fit along with every other piece. And that's how they made it all fit together. They used supercomputer power or daisy chained computers along with a brilliant concept that he thought up. So, and now he's actually he's working on things like printing human organs and stuff.
Word.
So anyway, but to get back to my issue about food, okay, let's get to this issue before we
wait. You're running for mayor of California, right?
Governor.
That's effectively mayor, though, right?
Call it what you want. Call it. Just don't call me late for dinner. No. So now my battery is going really low now. I better plug in. I know that's what she said. Oh, that one had some meaning. Okay. See, it's fun. If you say it enough, it actually has a meaning here or there. Okay, 1 second. Let me plug in.
But you're trying to figure out what party you're going to run for, right?
Right, and it's difficult because I'll just lately what the Democrats would like is that I want things like guaranteed jobs, guaranteed basic income, guaranteed housing, guaranteed food, and especially healthy food like organic produce and oily fish and vitamins so that we don't die of COVID. The doctors I study believe that we could take the COVID death rate down from 1 in 300 or 1 in 250 to 1
here's the thing, though.
2,500 or more.
I feel like I'm low in B12. What do you recommend for being low in B12 and potassium?
B12, I would take multivitamin. The multivitamin, it should be included multivitamin and minerals. Sorry, I'm looking for my USB plug-in here. 1 second.
And you're running for governor of the United States, correct?
Actually, even though I'm running, I got to replug in this lamp here so you can see me.
I love lamp.
Oh, you're like me. I love lamp.
I love lamp.
Oh God. 1 second. I gotta find the outlet here. Okay, I found the outlet.
Well, yeah. What do you think about
there
that?
There we go. There, you see, you want a problem solver as governor.
Yeah. What? No, I got a question for you. Hold on. Hold on. No. Hold on. Fred.
I've been obsessed with public policy.
Hold on.
Which
Fred,
is around the age of 5.
what do you think about wet ass pussy?
I think you're talking TikTok. Those are. I haven't seen the real video it's based on. I've only seen the takeoffs, and I will say those women are beautiful and very good dancers.
I didn't mean for that to be a gotcha question, Fred.
WAP, they call it, right? Anyway, WAP.
All right. Aliens or no aliens?
They likely exist. I don't know if they have them frozen in Area 51 or dried out or whatever, but
right. No, but
yeah.
I'm saying if you become governor of California, will you release any relevant records which would allow us to know what's going on with any potential extraterrestrials who are here, to visit Rendlesham Forest or
yes.
the Illuminati or Stonehenge?
So I'm running to enforce our human rights. As far as I don't believe in government keeping secrets from people. And I also don't believe in them spying on us. I've been against them spying for us. We have something called the Constitution, which is supposed to have the Fourth Amendment, which is supposed to ban them from unreasonable searches and seizures, which includes spying. I mean, they have no right to fucking spy on us. And they are doing this morning, noon, and night, and not just in the name of the war on terror. They're doing it in the name of the war on drugs. War on drugs, the NSA has a database called the Hemisphere Project that vastly eclipses the DEA has a database that vastly eclipses the NSA's, and most people, and Snowden exposed, so most people don't even know this, but I've been very angry. Now, as far as, sorry, you asked about not WAP, you asked, what was your next, sorry, you asked, did I not answer it? It wasn't
so
WAP.
What was your next
question?
So we're going through a bunch of things. Wet ass pussy or Tekashi 6ix9ine. What do you think about his Gummo video?
Gummo?
He's a snitch. All you need to know is he's a snitch. Fuck Tekashi or fuck 6ix9ine. He's a snitch. You saw Goodfellas. You saw The Godfather.
I have not seen those movies.
You haven't seen what? You haven't seen Goodfellas or The Godfather?
Maybe a few seconds.
Oh my God. You study law? How can you be a lawyer and not know about those movies?
I've been a little obsessed with like fixing the world and getting through law school or whatever the immediate project was.
Is someone's dog on the loose in the background?
There is I live in a currently suburban neighborhood, and there's animals. There's animals here. Last night, a raccoon got into some of my food, but we'll discuss that. That's irrelevant. But
and you're running for mayor of California, correct?
Yes.
I just, it's a long conversation. If people are just joining us, they need to know.
Right.
You're Fred Schultz.
Live?
Yeah, man. You're Fred Schultz. You're running for governor of California.
I didn't know this was live.
No, I mean mayor of California.
I didn't know this was live.
Do it, man.
Okay, so I've been very angry about all this lockdown stuff from the day they started it.
No. We don't know. We want to hear about wet ass pussy.
I would love some wet ass pussy.
I mean the song, dude.
Oh, I mean, I'm currently single, and
the song
and what they call
Are you trying to get yourself fired? Like, come on, you're not even on the ticket yet,
Oh
Fred.
yeah, it goes.
What
Wait,
party you run? What party you
wait,
running for?
dang it! Wait. Let me think how it goes. How does it go? Whap, whap, whap. I just remember whap, whap, whap. I don't even remember how it goes. I'm sorry. It's just whap and these girls doing these sexy, beautiful dances. Sorry, women.
What are you? Okay, so are you going as Libertarian, Republican, or Democrat?
I can't tell you. I don't know even. I don't know. There's people on all parties would have good arguments for, or love party or independent or love party and independent and any of the other three. And I mean, I guess I'm leaning towards libertarian, but the problem was, I don't believe in this like no taxes and no roads. I believe in cutting taxes for most people, or doing away with taxes for most people. But if we do that, we at least have to then up the taxes on the wealthiest people, meaning a wealth tax. That has been the centerpiece of my presidential campaign, besides legalizing drugs and prostitution and gambling for 20 years, which has been the wealth.
Let's talk about legalizing drugs and prostitution. I think the libertarians could latch onto that.
I think so too. And to be honest, I was a registered libertarian for at least 20 years, I believe. Although I never believed in their no taxes and no schools and no pothole filling and all that shit. But
well, if you're an anarchist and you're a Kropotkin anarchist, you're gonna do some mutual aid and fill in those potholes on your own, right?
Oh Jesus! I haven't even read Kropotkin.
Crow, like Cro-Magnon. Pot. Like family member Ken. Kropotkin.
Right, I even read him, although I do believe that Emma Goldman talked about his funeral in her autobiography or something like that. She talked about some famous anarchists. Ideally, it would be nice if we could get by without a government in anywhere in the world. The problem is we have 8 billion people in this world, and I'm not saying people are selfish, but when they're barely getting by, the best they can often do is say, oh, I'll just take care of myself. And what we really need, I think the government can play I think the government, my goal here is to get the government to help us be all we can be and at least take care of our human rights. Meaning, healthcare, education, housing, food, make sure that all income, make sure that all of job, make sure that if we're not fulfilling them on our own, that at least we somehow are not left dying, starving in the streets. Now, I've been sorry, go on. Now that I believe so. I believe the government can have a positive role, and instead, if we just take it away from being about war and jail and slavery, and turn it into instead being about.
All right. Speaking of jail,
human rights.
What do you think?
All
right, Fred, it's important. Current events. We've spent too much time on this. Derek Chauvin.
Oh my God. Okay. It took me about 3, 4, 5 days to watch that video because I knew that I wouldn't be able to stomach it. Although I think I was out protesting before I even watched the video. Although I think I had seen a few seconds, but then I watched the whole thing. It was very distressing. First of all, that was murder. What we watched was a murder, and I'm happy they convicted him of that. Now, I do think I'm a little worried because I really don't think that. I think that most sentences, even for murder, are too long. In most of the world, they don't lock up people more than like 7 to 15 years for murder. anywhere in the world.
Unless you're like Charles Manson or something.
Yeah. But most of the world, it's normally about 10, 12, 15 years. Now, the sentencing guidelines say that he should get 12.5 years. By the way, I've been against from even in law school, from the first day of law school, I was against mandatory minimums when I learned about that concept. I was against victimless crimes from the beginning, and I've been for jury nullification. And I've been pushing jury nullification and police discretion, prosecutorial discretion from the beginning. But as far as this case, I do think that 12 and a half years is approximately appropriate, although what he did is the most disgusting, horrendous, horrible. I mean, to watch him so viciously, cruelly, callously crush that man's neck, squeeze the life out of him with the help of these others. I mean, it was just shocking. But he's looking at, if the prosecutor asks the judge to, and the judge agrees to, he could be looking at up to 40 years, which I think
So talk about sentencing.
Giving people the chance to rehabilitate.
Fred,
even monsters like.
Talk about sentencing.
Sentencing, yeah.
Just
well,
in general.
In general, we prosecute things way too long, whether it's weed, having a joint. Although I did just read that and I was pulled up in old New York Times because I love to just do like research online that used to take microfilm, but in 75.
You mean like microfiche?
They called it both things, yeah. I used to actually, I love how it was white text on black background. That's how I love doing that with my computer still sometimes. But anyway, boy, I can't believe I've been using a computer since the resolution was so hard you could barely read the letters. Anyway,
how's that gonna help for your run for mayor of California?
Well, I think I've had more of an analog life. I mean, I'm certainly in the digital world, but I think that I'm straddling the old world and the new world, which is neat.
Is in the background, is that a beer hanging from a carabiner?
No, that's my little camping light. I use it, and then I have a real lamp here. You see this is a fancy tent. This is called. I would not.
So what are your top three? I can do three. Top three campaign.
I'll just roll off the top ones. Want to reopen, although that'll probably be done. I want to vaccinate the whole state within a few months, although that'll probably be done because this election probably doesn't happen until October or November, I read. Yeah. So if those things are taken care of, hopefully. And by the way, I'll go back to this, but I do think that we should vaccinate the whole world with one dose first and then get around to the second doses, because there is a strong belief that after your first dose, your immunization levels constantly increase until the second dose. So there's no reason, if you want to save the most people, then you tell them how to eat right, help them eat right if they can't afford to, which means the state. Wait, you see what the problem is.
But Fred, can you even remember what are your three top campaign planks?
Yes. I want to reopen.
Magic unicorns, reopen, and dildos for all.
Everybody can just go to a supermarket and buy a carrot for under $1. That's silly. No, we need to spend
Can everyone do that? How about weed for all?
Actually, that's one of my platform planks is free weed and even free drugs, because by making drugs free, or at least most drugs, we undercut the gangs in price. And the only way to put the gangs out of business is to undercut them on price. And the only thing cheaper than cheap is free. They say, oh my God, crack is cheap. Well, how do you beat cheap? Free. And then you don't have people who tell you that they're giving you coke and they give you fentanyl, and it's not called fentanyl, idiots. It's called fentanyl. So I want to re-legalize drugs, free most people in jail, free the people, pardon most people, most people are in jail for victimless crimes, and then many are in for just way too long. Now, some will want to commute instead of pardon because if we're scared, if we want to give the people out a red flag.
So you're talking free crack. We're talking about New Jack. So what do you think about the New Jack the wrestler? New Jack the wrestler.
I don't follow a lot of popular things. I'm sorry. I don't have enough brain time or bandwidth, or I don't even follow sports.
So well, then tell me this though. What is brain time?
Time. I don't have enough time or brain bandwidth.
You said brain time.
Focus. I only have.
What is Fred? What is you said brain time? What is brain time?
I meant time to spend using my brain. I only have so much time to spend using my brain and ability to use my brain for enough things. Like, yes, I'm smart, but I need to think up new things to study. I need to think up
like
new
what?
New answers.
So when Jimmy Carter said that he spotted that flying saucer coming over when he was running for governor, what do you make of that?
I didn't know that he talked about seeing a flying saucer. I do believe that
so what do you think about Bill Clinton, who said that he would release any relevant Roswell files if he became president? Would you do that if you became governor?
I don't think Roswell, isn't that New Mexico?
All right, so he meant it in general. It is in New Mexico, but in general, in regard to extraterrestrials, what would be your policy if you became governor? Would you release any relevant extraterrestrial files?
Any and all. But I'll tell any and all. Yes. You know what's wild though? I really feel that, if you say that you were an invading alien, and I don't mean immigration. Immigration, I want to double or triple the number of legal immigrants. But
standpoint. Don't get distracted.
Sorry, I was thinking aliens.
Yeah, tell me about the extraterrestrials, Fred.
As Rebecca De Mornay says, my mind just keeps on working. From risky business. Anyway,
working. Yeah.
God, I love Rebecca De Mornay. Can you believe Leonard Cohen and Rebecca De Mornay?
Stay on point.
What a lucky. Okay, she was lucky too. But
Fred, the aliens. What would you do if you were mayor of California?
Of course, I'll release information. But my point was, I think that aliens. If you were an alien, say you were an invading alien,
I am, Fred. Clearly.
Would you be okay? Then would you to the human eye, or would you be too small or transparent to be seen? And no, I haven't seen.
Are you talking about nanobot technology? What are you talking about?
I'm talking that maybe we have brilliant, tiny aliens amongst us right now that you could barely see under an electron microscope or something, but they're out there, but we just don't know it. I believe that Earth is being bombarded with trillions, whatever, quadrillions. I don't know the number of particles from outer space every second. So it's possible that that aliens are with us, but just tiny.
And you're running for mayor of California.
Maybe COVID is just aliens.
And you're running for mayor of California.
Governor. Okay, mayor, whatever you want to call it.
Well, what is it? Tell me, what is it?
It's governor. It's governor. It's governor. Remember?
Governor. No, it's mayor of what? You're going against Caitlyn Jenner. So what do you
remember?
How are you going to beat Caitlyn Jenner?
Look, she supported, and millions of people supported this evil, idiot, cruel scumbag Trump. Most people in this state, and most people in every state, well, no, most people in the United States, but certainly most people in this state, he's never had a majority of support. The only way he ever came to power was because of that unconstitutional electoral college which allowed him to steal the election from us. So my point of view is she does not have a chance because she supported Trump. And most people in this state hate that piece of shit. Rightfully so. And he does deserve jail. And he does deserve a lot of jail. And he is one of the few, I mean, he's already ancient. He's one of the few who would deserve certainly life in jail. But that's probably not more than a few months. He's so fat fuck. And he eats McDonald's and Twinkies and all this shit. Piece of shit.
What do you really think?
She's an idiot. She's an idiot. She says, oh, well, she supports deregulation. Yeah, you know what deregulation gets us? It gets us back to an LA where you can't breathe. Look at the photos of LA before we had unleaded gas. Idiot bitch.
You know, if you go to Beverly Hills, gas is like $10 a gallon.
No.
Last time I was there, it's like $8. That's might as well be 10.
Wow, here at Costco, it's just about 3.8.
Oh, it's a big differential all throughout Los Angeles, depending on what neighborhood you're in. What kind of gin is that? And you're running for mayor of California, correct?
This makes me angry that this is Art of the Still, which is obviously a takeoff of Art of the Deal. Art of the Still, they're trying to be funny. So this is made by Trump supporters, which makes me upset, but it's organic gin. And
why are you drinking it then?
it's the only affordable. It's the only.
So your outfit has red, purple, yellow, green, purple, red. What are you wearing? Is
my
that
mask? This is a mask.
No, I mean just your colors in general.
Yeah, this is a mask I bought at the farmer's market. It's they give it's a clothing company where I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but they give one, it's called 1 for 1 or something. They give one away for everything sold. Just like my friend Alistair Unling-Swan, who has a company, a shoe company called Green Soul Shoes, where they give away one pair of sandals for every pair bought, and they're made from recycled tires in developing countries. And
what's the best thing about Trump?
The best thing about him, he's out of office.
Okay.
And he's fat. And he's fat and he's stupid.
And what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing about Biden?
He supported locking up 44 victimless crimes, which caused now 44% of American adults have a criminal record. 44%.
And herpes.
Over about 110 million. Okay, so what does this say? I can't even read it. It says 1 for 1 or something.
It says Fred Schultz is running for herpes of Herpyland.
But this is a mask I bought. And I certainly agree that we should wear masks in like supermarkets and stuff, but requiring it everywhere is really excessive because a few reasons. Well, now at this point, 80% of people over 65 have had a vaccine. However, in New York City, I just read only 50% of people over 85 have had a vaccine. So that's a real failure. I'm upset the way they rolled this out. I felt they should have mostly rolled it out by age, not by do you deal with the public, because those in general, those who are older, the older you are.
Fred, we need sound bites at this stage.
The higher the death rate. Sound bites. Okay.
Quicker.
You want questions or what?
Q&A.
Q&A. Okay.
What's your name?
Frederick Charles Schultz. My name is spelled the French way, Frédéric, Frederic, because my mom was a French teacher.
Okay.
Studied in Grenoble or whatever. And Harvard. And Dad went to Cornell and then New York Medical.
He became a dentist after going to Cornell.
No, he's an ophthalmologist, and
Dentists
he's one of the
are insane, Fred.
Dentist? He's not a dentist. He's an ophthalmologist.
Doesn't matter. I said he's a dentist. As far as this show is concerned, he's a dentist. I said it. So
Rand Paul and Raul
Fred, what I
Raul,
say is the truth in the word. I said he's a dentist. That's your new truth. Okay.
okay.
Are you a
He
politician or are you not?
okay, he drills into eyeballs every day.
I said he's a dentist. So no, he's a
Oh,
dentist.
I mean, he drills into teeth every day. Right, right. Sorry. Can you imagine a tooth drill into an
Where
eyeball? That
did you
would
go
be.
to school? Took too long. All right, moving on.
I grew up in Worcester,
Um,
Massachusetts, not far from
you
where
took
you
too
are.
long. You took too long, Fred.
I grew up in
All right,
Worcester,
next
Massachusetts.
question. Your first party plank,
I went
platform
to
plank.
I went to public schools until I was around 15. The last 3
Oh,
years of
shut up. What's your first plank?
the last 1 year of high school, I went to no, the last 3 years. My first plank is wealth tax.
And
On
why are
the,
you libertarian?
I'm a libertarian because I strongly believe that we have human rights to do to our own bodies as we wish. Even if I want to just sit here and smoke crack for a week till I die, which would probably happen. And by the
And
way,
that's why
what?
you want a wealth tax, right? Why do you want a wealth tax?
I want a wealth tax because we live in the richest nation on the world, but that really means only 1% of our nation is super rich. And the rest of us, most are struggling. At least 50% have a negative net worth. Negative net worth. At least the poorest 50% have a negative net worth.
And this is why you're Republican. Why are you running as a Republican, Fred?
Well, I didn't say I am. I said I was considering it.
Okay.
And there are certain concepts that the Republicans would like, at least older school Republicans, we could make a strong argument for. For instance, I mostly believe in, I do believe in free trade. Now, I also am against slave labor. And I think that you can hold those
That's a
two
bold
beliefs.
stance. Are you also against the Ebola virus? You're against
Very,
slavery. Are you,
very, but I
Fred,
think
are you
Cuomo-
against the Ebola virus?
Yes, but I think that Cuomo way overreacted. As far as slavery, I'm the only candidate.
The only candidate against slavery?
Yes, yes, because our jails are filled with slaves. We have 2.3 million people in this country in jails, 2/3 of them in the state jails. So I'll get to leave living and being, if I become the governor of the most populous state in the country, I'll get to free the biggest number of people in the biggest state in our country. Yes. We have slavery here. We have 2.3 million people in jail, and they are every day in jail is torture. Even if they're not beating you, it's torture. And every day in jail, for 99 something percent of those in jail, is slavery. You wake up and you work from the minute you wake up till the time you go to bed, whether it's washing vomit and diarrhea out of police cars or whatever, blood if they shoot, whatever it is.
And speaking of diet and vomiria, you're running for mayor of California, correct?
Mayor of California, yes.
Diarrhea and vomitorium.
Boy, that is
What
my
do you
favorite.
think about Caitlyn Bennett pooping her pants?
Caitlyn Jenner shit herself?
Bennett.
I don't know who Caitlyn Bennett is.
Liberty Hangout. Oh, no, I have to promote her now.
I will look it up. I did not know that some woman shat herself, but
all right. So on that note, you're trying to figure out how to wrap this up.
Shit happens.
So
that's what she said.
How are you going to wrap this up, Fred? Because that's what you're trying to do.
Look, I am the only candidate who believes that the government has to stop oppressing us and instead supporting us and helping us enforce our freedoms instead of steal our freedoms. Bring out the best in us instead of oppress us. Help us be all we can be and help each other as much as possible.
Boy Scouts. Are you a Boy Scout?
Instead of forcing us to oppress each other. Am I for Boy Scouts?
I said be all you can be. Be all you can be.
That was the Army slogan. No, Boy Scout. I did the Cub Scouts, and I'll tell you this.
Well, no, the pedophile priests really got in those Boy Scouts' faces.
Look, I moved to New York for 2 years trying to get. I knew that sexual abuse in the Orthodox Jewish community. Although,
all right, that's just too weird. How are we wrapping it up with your campaign?
I moved there for 2 years to fight those cases. Not one person hired me because they were all scared to sue. They even
So
though
all
they knew
right,
that
so
they could make $1 million.
you're a lawyer. You're running for mayor of California. Your name is Fred
Right.
Schultz, and you've got like the biggest balls in the state. Am I right?
I've got big balls. He's got big balls. But we've got the biggest balls of them all. Hey, I've got big balls. Hey, you've got big balls. Hey, we've got big balls. Hey. Okay, anyway. Oh, and then we could go
Well,
into
this is
broke me, stroke me. Oh, that was anyway.
this has been the Fred Schultz podcast. We're beaming this out to the masses.
Oh, wait. We should sing. If we're gonna sing, we should sing my song. I'm the Right Said Fred song. I'm too sexy for this video. Too sexy for this campaign.
Wrap it up, Fred.
I'm a model and I do what I want. And I do
Fred.
a little walk on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Oh, here, look, I'm bald too, like that guy.
Dude.
I'm a model. Yes. Sorry. Okay, here.
So this is do you have any closing statements that you want to give to the masses?
I want to enforce our human rights. Let's start out with that. I mean, yes, this is about letting us all flourish, but before
you're not starting. You're not starting. You're wrapping up.
Before we flourish, we have to survive. They're not even letting us survive. They're crushing our necks on the fucking street. They're starving us. And I knew that these lockdowns would lead to worldwide starvation, which would make the number of people dying by COVID pale compared to the number starving. And I was right. And now if you read the New York Times about what's going on in Brazil today.
Wait, but these sex crimes
and India
in Biden's office. So Biden's been caught sniffing these girls' hair, and he's been caught doing this. So what is your position on that? You saw that today, right?
I did not see anything today. I saw something about a year ago. I saw photos.
Wait. What happened a year ago?
Oh, during the campaign, they showed him walking up and like leaning in and sniffing hair or giving a.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's not new.
No, this is going on for decades.
Oh well, that's makes him the perfect candidate for president, right? That's why they voted him in, right?
Look, people, it's what he did is it made some women very uncomfortable. It was nothing like what Trump. It's so when you're comparing, which is worse, and one has been accused of actual rape many times. I mean, credible accusations like.
What do you think about the E. Jean Carroll case?
Right, E. Jean Carroll. It sounded very credible, and I believe her. And I'm just like I believe that woman talking about Kavanaugh. I mean, oh, and by the way, I do want to throw out all the judges. If I ever win the presidency, even though I'm running for governor now, I'll certainly be running for president again in 2024. I definitely want to remove every judge.
As a Green Party candidate?
I don't know whether it would be Green or Libertarian or Democrat or Republican or Libertarian.
Reform.
I don't just like George Washington. I don't believe in the concept of parties and I don't like it. And I'm just dealing with a situation that we should not be having to deal with, that tries to fit us into these cookie cutter rubric ideologies that we don't necessarily believe in.
Ink blot tests.
I have never.
Speaking of ink blot tests, what am I?
Oh, that looks like from Pan's Labyrinth.
I'm Mr. Moose.
Oh wait, no, this is Pan's Labyrinth.
No, that's not Pan's Labyrinth. You got to do it like this for that. Fred, it's like this, right? Thing like that.
Wait, didn't you know that? Wait.
It's like.
Oh, wait, he was bald, right? So here, it's like here. Let me try to do.
All right. So what is all right? Well, we're trying to wrap this up though. What is going to put you ahead of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for
Well,
instance, per se?
I was telling you before when we thought that you were hitting record and you weren't, that 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 I saw him start his campaign. The day he started his campaign, you know what his initial slogan was? Terminate
Liberals.
Terminate liberals. That is making a joke that it's a good idea to shoot most people in the state. That was his idea of how to start a campaign, was we're going to kill most people in the state. I find that sickening. And the three strikes is a big part of the reason why we have 2.3 million people in jail at any given time and 13 million arrests a year. But three strikes, there's normally for bullshit. One person in jail for 3 strikes has stolen a fucking apple. And by the way, those drug laws that they passed, the Rockefeller drug laws they passed in 73 in New York and around this country, copying them, they made it a fucking Class C felony. No, at first it was a class something else. And then 2 years later, they reduced Class C felony. But a felony to have a joint. Granted, they reduced the time in jail for under 1/8 of an ounce to, they reduced the time in jail, but still it was a felony, which technically a felony means punishable by at least a year. So maybe they initially meant well by cutting it, realizing that they had done some horrible thing.
But we're wrapping it up though. Like this is we need to get the wrap up. You're Fred Schultz.
Yes.
You shave your nipples. You want to abolish the drug crimes. And you're available on Tinder, Grindr, Bumble, and all the other dating apps.
I have not signed up with one dating app yet, but I probably should because I'm single and I'm not enjoying that fact.
You do all your campaign rallies on the beach, and
I've been doing many campaign rallies on the beach.
And yes, what's your TikTok account is Fred Schultz lawyer, and you go to San Diego Beach or something.
I think like TikTok is Fred 2024.
Okay,
is TikTok. I have a Snapchat.
That'll work out great in 2030 as well.
I have a Snapchat. Well, I'll have to change it again. I have a Snapchat, which is Vote for Fred with a.
Yeah, just wrap it up though. Whatever we're doing, let's wrap it up.
And hashtag is Fred for CA. That's the hashtag I'm running under right now.
Everyone memorized all that. It's really easy that you picked all that, Fred.
Fred for CA. That should be pretty easy, right?
Yeah, and then Fred for app on TikTok. I don't know.
Vote for Fred on.
I'm just gonna memorize all those things.
On Snapchat.
That's so easy. It's no wonder you're a massive success and you're beating Arnold Schwarzenegger here because you got like 20 different names for all your different apps. I'm not trying to put it down. We're trying to wrap it up.
I'm doing my best here. You know, I don't
just pick one. Pick one name. Pick one name. One hashtag. That's it.
Now it's Fred for CA, but okay, and then make
no. When you run for president, you can't be Fred for CA. How does that go? You're making it really hard on yourself, Fred.
Look, it's like changing jackets. It's like you have on one jacket, and then you take it off, and you have another jacket.
Fake nipples under there. Or...
Oh God, pasties. Yeah, like Ariel. Oh no, those are seashells. Sorry. Anyway, oh yeah, you want to hear me sing the little?
No, Mermaid? Wrap it up. Can
I sing? Oh, let me sing one of my songs. I wrote a bunch of songs many years ago.
One song.
Okay, this is a good one. I wrote this one in jail when I was wrongfully jailed and tortured for a few weeks, 3 weeks. It goes, number. I'm a number with a misspelled name. I'm a number because I wouldn't play their game. I'm a number, but they can't put out my flame. Wouldn't play their game, now I'm framed. Wouldn't play their game, so my life is lame. But they can't put out flame. But they can't.
All right, now rework the lyrics so it's about Fred. Rework the lyrics so it's about you running for governor of California.
Okay, we'll write a new one.
Go. No, right now on the spot. And we're wrapping up. This is
free the people. Free the people. Fred for Gov. Fred for California. Fred for Prez. Free the people. Save us. Save us. No more murder. No more jail. Freedom. Freedom. Now, now, now. Fred for California. Free the 2 million. Okay, that's another one of my songs, Free the 2 million. I'll play that one soon too. 2 million in jail who haven't hurt no one. Locked behind bars that can't have no fun. 2 million in jail. Hurt no one. Rob no one. Rape.
Wait, what? What?
Well, I'm envisioning what happens. So they don't hurt anyone, then they end up in jail, and then they're getting raped and murdered. So that's the.
You want to free them for that? Okay.
I want to free them while they're.
All right. I thought it was going to end on a happy note. So
before they're raped to death.
Oh, so that's the happy note. Great.
That's the happy note, is free them before they're raped more and murdered. Yeah, in jail.
Fucking wrap it up, Fred. Come on. God damn it.
There we go. We have 2.3 million people in jail every second being beaten, raped, murdered, and have no freedom. And that's wrong. Just for at most hurting themselves, or that's fuck, or giving somebody something that they really want. Like say it's cocaine. Okay, well, if somebody says they're giving somebody cocaine and they give them fentanyl, yeah, we got a problem. But if they say they're giving them cocaine and they do give them cocaine, that should not be a problem. I was trying to say that was what I studied back in college, where the original concept of drug regulation was going to be proof in packaging. That's what we had at first. It was all proof in packaging. And then they took it and they twisted it and they expanded it. And next thing you know, you can't even like pick up something on the floor and smoke it without getting arrested. A plant. They're taking plants that humans have smoked for thousands of years, like that hemp you're smoking there, weed, cannabis, whatever you call it.
All right, everyone. On that note, Fred wants free weed for all the people of California. He's gonna
free the people, free the weed.
He's gonna kick y'all's ass, and
free Doug.
He's
free
gonna be
Nelson Mandela. Oh, they did that. Okay.
Mayor of California. All right, word up, people. That's
okay,
Fred.
Later. Love
Fred.
you, bro.